Welcome back to our YouTube channel, and my name is Epistemic. I am a final student in politics and international relations, and on this episode we have Zenon Ndayisenga. So Mr. Zenon is a PhD student with his thesis now under examination in the Faculty of Humanities and at the University of Witwatersrand in South Africa. He is a young Fananian decolonial scholar who holds a BA in Political Studies and Citizenship, a BA Honours in African Politics, and Masters of Arts in African Politics. His research interests are in political thought, African politics, colonialism, colonial violence, counter-violence, tabula rasa, dehumanization, university knowledge, epistemicide, and pluriversality knowledge. Mr. Ndayisenga currently finished the first draft of his book about Zenon intellectual justification of counter-violence. He is a well-trained student mentor who has assisted a number of students from different South African universities. So, welcome to our YouTube channel, Mr. Zenon.
Thank you very much. And thank you to the viewers.
Can you please give us a summary of your thesis? What is it about?
Okay, I think the summary of my thesis is within this So this one, as you can see, we have in the center decoloniality, and we have pluriversality knowledge on the top, and we have epistemicide on the right now, and coloniality of university knowledge. So now, what is interesting is how they relate each other. As we can see, the coloniality of knowledge, coloniality of university knowledge, and epistemicide. It looks like they are cousins. It looks like they relate, especially when it comes to preventing pluriversality knowledge to happen. You can see that both coloniality of university knowledge and epistemicide, they prevent pluriversality knowledge. As you can see also here, it prevents pluriversality knowledge to happen. But when it comes to epistemicide and decoloniality, for instance, you can see that the epistemicide does not welcome decoloniality. And vice versa, decoloniality annihilates epistemicide. And the decoloniality also deconstructs the coloniality of university knowledge. And same as epistemicide, the university of knowledge does not welcome decoloniality. Now, between coloniality of knowledge and epistemicide, you can see that coloniality of knowledge causes epistemicide. And epistemicide, it emerges from coloniality of university knowledge. Now, if we launch back here to the pluriversality knowledge, the relationship between pluriversality knowledge and the decoloniality, you see that the decoloniality licenses pluriversality knowledge. And the pluriversality knowledge, it welcomes decoloniality.
Okay.
I think this is the summary of what we'll be talking about today, and this is also the summary of my PhD thesis.
Okay, so I think we should get into questions. I have some questions that I want to ask you.
Thank you.
From your thesis. So the first one, how do you see epistemicide continuing to shape the identity and aspirations of students in South African universities today? today, and what immediate step can universities take to start reversing its image, its effect?
Okay, thank you. For this first question, let me start by negative impacts of epistemicide. First, due to epistemicide, in South African universities, students study wrong programs which do not relate with their lived experiences. And then after graduation, so now it has become like a culture that students, they end up in the streets and be unemployed. Second, due to the epistemicide, our students are no longer involved in discovery. They are no longer involved in innovation of new things. And obvious, they are now consumers only of the North American sciences. It is sad that our students and also staff, they are imitators while they were supposed to be prepared to be true scientists. So they are imitators in the sense that now we only consume Western science, we use Western epistemologies, and why we're supposed to use epistemologies that originate from our place where we are located, what we call in research from what we call locus of enunciation. So I mean from where we stand, from where we are. Yeah. Yes. And I can mention many negative impacts. So how can we reverse these effects? Here the answer is clear. We must welcome decoloniality and live it, practice, and leave it become our daily life. Epistemic revolution is needed, actually. If we wish to serve African universities, I think this is what this is the answer for your question. Yes.
Okay, so you mentioned something at the first point. You said something about how students are, people are homeless because of, do you think it's because of the knowledge, this Eurocentric Western knowledge?
Obvious, my sister, look, we are forced to study programs. We are forced to study programs that do not communicate, that do not relate with our life experiences.
Okay.
Now, if you study, for instance, let me give you an example. If you study Western languages, for instance, let me give you an example for French. I know that French is important. It's needed. But now, if you study French, and now you are maybe coming from Mozambique, you are a Mozambican student, you study French, and then you go back to your country. What are you gonna use with that French? Because they use Portuguese. You see, your chances for you to be employed are limited. Then it's gonna be difficult for you to be employed, and you will end up to be a homeless who is graduated. So now let us apply this to to South Africa. We study in English. Programs that we study, all of them, they are in English. And now when it comes to applying what you have studied at school, you are supposed now to go back in your community where you come from. So now, are you gonna teach in English your grandmother? Then it's gonna be difficult for you. You see, now you will struggle to even translate what you have studied. And the worse, you're not gonna have a job. Because what you have studied communicate or is for the Western and not linked to our indigenous.
Okay, so somehow epistemicide causes unemployment. Some in a way.
Let's use creates.
It creates unemployment in a way.
Yes, let's use creates. First, they make sure that they kill your indigenous belief, your indigenous knowledge. Now you will learn in a language that is not yours, learning also science that is not communicating with your life experience. And when it comes to practicing, you're not going to practice. Maybe let me give you, like if you come, like when you come to mathematics, and then say to Pythagoras, other Charles and whoever, then you come with some formulas. Then if you go back to apply it in Africa, it's going to be difficult for you. Yeah, I know that mathematics is needed, but we were supposed now to come back and question the Western science.
Okay. Then we should move to the next question. So, pluriversity is a powerful concept, but practically how do you envision universities integrating pluriversity without diluting the academic right or failing back to Giza?
Okay, thank you for the question. First, I think pluriversity knowledge is imperative if we wish to live in an environment where each student and staff feels as a contributor to knowledge. Because what the problem is that now we are living in a world where we only, as I was saying, consume the knowledge that we are not contributing to. Now, with the intervention of pluriversity knowledge, as Boaventura dos Santos agrees, while the university knowledge is colonial and imposed to others, pluriversity knowledge is a kind of knowledge that emerged from different angles of knowledge producers, including society members. I'm sorry, I'm going to repeat this. Including society members. Pluriversity knowledge is therefore an inclusive knowledge. Everyone is invited to contribute to knowledge production. If maybe you have something that you know in Sizulu, you are welcome. If you want to write your thesis in Sizulu or in Venda or in Xhosa, you are welcome. But as you know, in most of South African universities, you can see they will be telling you the thesis will be written in English. It's like we now focusing on Western. Pluriversity knowledge welcome everyone to write in the language that he feels okay.
Okay, I understand. So, because we have in South African universities, some universities, they have like African languages. Is that like a step towards pluriversity, or does it not say anything?
If you do not open your eyes clearly, you may think that is a step, but it's not. Because who pays those teachers who are teaching those languages?
Is it not the university?
Yes. Now, who financed the university? Still. If you can check now, like how much they put, let me say like how much money they put in increasing or motivating these indigenous languages, you found that is few. And why we were supposed to put too much money?
So they make it look like they're doing something.
Come again?
Do they make it look like they're doing something, they're including African languages? And
why they're
not?
Yes.
The majority is
yes. The majority is still the Western science which is dominating. Because you might find that, for instance, from 1960s, they have been teaching African languages at universities. But if you go to practical, let me say, if we go back, what are we bringing back? We bring back the Western science. First, if we are including, for instance, the African languages, we're now supposed, for instance, to learn Swahili, to learn Sizulu, to learn everything from grade R to universities. Then you find that once you're done with your studies, as I was saying, you can contribute to the communities where you come from. Yes.
Okay, so moving to our next question. This one is from the thesis. It says, epistemic justice cannot be realizable without cognitive justice. So what do you mean by this? It's something that I can't
Thank you. Yes, epistemic justice cannot be realizable without cognitive justice, because colonized subjects are denied of their humanity, and therefore one cannot be a thinker if he or she is not registered in the book of human beings. It's not possible. For instance, how can you be a scientist if you are daily dehumanized? And the dehumanized scientists are only recognized by colonized subjects and not by the white masters. It's very difficult. First, we have now to think on how we can fight our ontological rejection, because colonized people are ontologically rejected. Then we cannot reach epistemic justice. Why? We still even deny it. First, we have to claim of our humanity. We have to become human first. Then once we are human, then we go to the next step of fighting for epistemic justice.
So we have to fight for our humanity first.
Obvious. And as Steve Biko said, we as African, for instance, we have now to think about our black consciousness to know who are we. Because if you take Frantz Fanon's book on Frantz Fanon's book on the vegetable of the earth, you will find where he say that decolonization have to start from the claiming of the being first. Same as Biko, same as Noel Mangani. Everyone will tell you, let us fight first for our humanity that has been denied. Then, if we reach, or if we manage to be registered as human beings, like the colonizer, now we go on the first step of claiming for epistemic justice. Yes.
Okay, so moving to our fourth question, which is also from Epistemologies of the South are the justice against epistemicide, meaning that such epistemologies permit and open doors to the plurality of knowledge through their application of ecologies of knowledge. What are epistemics of the South?
Thank you. I'm sorry. The epistemologies of the South cannot be numbered, because there are many. They cannot be numbered as there are a lot. Take, for instance, the plurality knowledge itself. Yeah, it is concerned with the oppressed thinkers, regardless of where they are. As long as you're a thinker and then you are oppressed. Don't forget that there are also white that are denied.
White? How are they denied?
They are denied to be thinkers. If you go in France and then you ask if Jean-Paul Sartre was a thinker, they will say, yeah, he was a thinker, but not in Frantz Fanon's book. Because remember, Jean-Paul Sartre is the one who wrote the preface. A very beautiful preface where he was criticizing white domination.
So what you mean is, when you criticize the what's this?
What I mean is, you might be a thinker from the West, but you are categorized as a South thinker, in a sense that South thinker are those thinkers who expose, who are fighting for the plurality knowledge to be realizable. And the epistemology of the South, you must know one thing. Epistemology of the South are not opposite to the epistemologies from the West. It's not an opposition. No. While the epistemologies from the North or of the West are colonial in nature, epistemology of the South seek to establish epistemic justice. They seek also to establish epistemic freedom, where everyone is welcome to use the epistemologies that are linked to his life experiences. Obviously, epistemologies of the South are linked to the indigenous knowledges. So, in summary, epistemologies of the South are those epistemologies that seek to liberate the oppressed person, epistemically, politically, ontologically, to my democratic view. Yes.
That's the epistemologies of the South.
Yes.
Okay, so moving to our last question.
Yes.
In a globalized world where Western epistemology is still dominant, what strategies would you recommend for universities to balance Western and indigenous knowledge without creating divisions among students and the faculty?
Okay, thank you. Let me respond to this question in first addressing my message to the Western scientists, knowledge producers. They have to know that for the last 500 years, they have been misleading us.
They have been misleading us?
Yes.
Okay.
For the last 500 years, they have been misleading us.
Okay.
As here means oppressed people, including ourselves, especially black people. We cannot only rely on one source or one form of knowledge. This one form of knowledge here, I mean the Western knowledge, Western science knowledge, or Western science or Western knowledge. We must open doors for plurality knowledge and accept decoloniality to be or to stay with us, to be our lifestyle. See, because how can we always rely on one form of knowledge while we know that in Africa we have also other kind of knowledge that are daily denied. This denial of our indigenous knowledge is now what we have to become a daily debate in universities. Universities, actually, they have to include. It's not something that we have to beg. No, we have to include our indigenous knowledges if we want to serve these universities. Otherwise, we will always witness the university, what we call epistemic crisis at different universities. As we have seen in 2015, the fees must fall in South Africa. Yes, there was a fees must fall, but it was linked also to epistemicide. Because students later also they ask that what they are studying is not linked to what with their life experiences.